I think they're finally used to it in our place.
Wolverine cosplay. I'm Batman.
Thank you very much. Scared the crap out of me.
All right, Andy, take it away.
No,
no, you take it away.
Well,
Yeah. You're the host.
We are here in the Wise Hall in Vancouver, and we are in the filming location, or one of the filming locations that was used rather extensively in the Valkyrie in season 5. And we also have a special treat. We have Mr. Richard Martin, the director of the episode, right here with us.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome,
Thank you for being here.
Highlander fans. Love you all. Anyway, yes, welcome to the Wise Hall. We use this in Valkyrie. I selected this location because, I don't know, it's just kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. It's close to where I live, which is always nice and everything. But we shot here for 2 days here. And the first day, we had a boxing ring set up. They brought in a boxing ring and set it up for what is it, Charlie DeSalvo memorial thing, right? And the whole idea was that I'm going to forget names now. Excuse me. It was a long time ago, but
A couple years.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. But they were all sitting. Adrian and the Bachelor were all sitting over here.
Yeah, it was Adrian, Peter, and Jim.
And Jim,
right?
Burns,
Jim
yeah.
Harris, too.
And Jim came up to me before the show and said, "Hey, my parents are in town. You know, do you think I can?" Yeah, of course. Put them, sit right here, be right behind them, and everything like that. And so they were in the audience. It wasn't a huge amount of extras, but back in those days, we shot everything on, long lenses, kind of compressed and everything like that, so you could get away with a lot of, 15 people you can make look a little bit more and everything. And so we shot back and forth that, and then we had the guys in boxing, and they were just young boxing students, but they were having a lot of fun, and basically just let them do what they wanted to do. And so that was like the first day, and then the Jan Triska, the Interpol guy, comes in, right? Remember that?
Oh yeah, the cop or whatever. Yeah.
Musetta came in from over there, who played, what was the character? Ingrid, thank you. Came in from over there, and of course they have the buzz that goes on and everything, and he knows that she's there and everything, and then Peter takes off because he skulks away because he doesn't like conflict and everything, and then Jan Triska walked in here and everything to do that whole scene and then Adrian goes, she pulls the fire alarm and everything. So that was that whole scene. And then, was that the whole day? No, because we had to strike the boxing ring. So we went outside and did the ending. Ooh, okay, I'll get into that later. But they had to strike the boxing ring. And so the next morning, we started back here. We had all these flags of the white supremacists hanging here on this side and that side. And we did the whole scene with Jan Triska, the thing. "Are you a writer of fiction, Mr. McLeod?" And everything like that. He was so freaking wonderful, Jan Triska. He was great in it, right? And everything. So we had that whole scene. They were sitting right there. Jan was there and everything. We had the cameras back here. It was huge, big wide shot and everything. Adrian really liked the shots that we were getting in there and everything, and we played out that whole scene with them, you know, saying, you know, what a pity. Normally when someone disarms someone, they have a little more attention to detail or something like that. How I remember these lines.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I was going to say a lot.
I haven't seen the episode.
We spent a lot of time with Adrian Paul, and he likes.
I know. And so we did that whole scene, and then we got rid of that, and then we have the thing where she comes in. Fulvio is up on the stage, so he's like, you know, doing that, and she comes in, and she's got the gun. You know the whole scene, right? Everything. He's got a gun. All this kind of stuff, which leads into the scene that we shot previously, right? But we had to strike that and then go for that whole scene, because then, of course, we had to set up for the big scene, which was that night. You know, of you know, him up on the stage, and Mythos and Adrian, you know, on the side. Again, we're shooting. We don't have a huge amount of extras, maybe a bit more, 25 or something like that, and we had to, I had to organize them in a wedge. So when you see the shot, it's from over there. And they're, you know, so it looks like there's a bunch of people there, but there's actually only about 25 people. Everything off camera, empty. That's movies.
I know how that goes.
That's movies, right? So then we have Fulvio up on stage, and then it plays out into the whole thing, which we probably shot the night before, where he goes out and sees Ingrid in the back alley, right? So that was all. That was a big 2 days here. Quite a big 2 days. Lots going on.
Yeah, they made the room look a lot bigger because this is smaller than what it looks like in the.
I know, because back here we were sitting on 10mm lenses on 16mm film, right? It just like makes it look really big, and that's kind of what Adrian said he liked how it looked, right? Because we have low angle, all the banners and all this kind of stuff. And then the only other, you know, fun thing we did. Was if you get to see Fulvio, I don't even know if he'd remember this, because I've only worked with him once since then. He's a lovely guy, he's a good guy. He was a perfect white supremacist, and also the sweetest guy you've ever met in your life. So not a white supremacist. so not. And everything. But you know, they gave him a couple of lines in the show, right? You know, which was you know, do you want white is right, or something like this. I can't remember.
Yes, that's the line.
There's only 2 lines they had, and I hate it when there's only a couple of lines, right? But he's got a speech to give, and while Adrian, right? This is a thing, and I'm probably not supposed to do this, but I didn't know because this was my first television episode, and I didn't really give a shit. Is I went up to the actor, to Fulvio, and said, I need a speech. You're a white supremacist, you're an actor, I need a speech. I'm not quite supposed to do this, but we did it anyway. And I said, go write a speech. Tell me what you feel.
How much time did he have to write it?
Not much, he had like less than an hour.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, so he
Okay, that's pretty impressive.
He just went off and he jotted some things down, and then he improvised some stuff. I don't even know if he remembers this. Everything, and he came out and you know, he did all this stuff. Do you want to why America? Do you want to free America? You know, he just went on, and we could use it in the background of the scene, so it didn't seem like you know. So even though it is garbled, we could use some stuff, and it was real. So when we had down at the front, we had a dolly track, and we were going back and forth in front of him, and it just was insane. And that's what we're trying to capture, the insanity, right? And everything. So he wrote several more lines of his dialogue, and did a lovely job. Again, with the crowd, again, low angle, looking up, can't see the fact that it's only 3 deep. Can't see that there's nobody back here, but we're low angle, and everyone got into it. Anyway, it was a lot of fun, a lot of good energy. Well, good.
Good white supremacist energy.
And the casting, you know, the extras casting put in some, you know, people who look kind of, you know, put them in jackets that look like, you know, like, anyway, looked like a rally. for a bunch of white supremacists, right? So that was basically the 2 days here, right? And it was marvelous. It was just marvelous what happened.
It was marvelous watching it.
Well, no, it was great. But then we just had the 2 scenes, the one out front at the end, the final scene, and then of course the one out back with Ingrid and the whole thingy, right, and everything. So, but that took care of this. The only thing, we had these blank walls, I remember, and I kept looking at the camera at Jan Triska and saying, "There's nothing behind him, for the love of God." So they got all these apple boxes and they got chairs and they stacked them up as high as they could. So when you see it, there's a pile of chairs. There's not many more than this. They're just built up on boxes.
Are these still the chairs?
These are I'm pretty damn sure these are exactly the same.
Nice.
chairs. I don't think these have changed ever. Yeah. So it was a really intense shoot. Boxing, people, coming in, cops, all this kind of stuff. Quickening, ending. It was an amazing bunch of scenes that we had.
The office where Duncan gets interrogated, is that somewhere in this building also?
The office where
Triska runs from downtown.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Oh
yeah.
no, that was what we call a swing set, and that was on the main set that was out in Burnaby.
Oh, okay.
And that's where they had the loft, Adrian's loft, the dojo. What else? The bar.
Yeah, Joe's bar.
Joe's bar, and everything. And then there was always an area that was a swing set, they call it, so anything could be built. So the jail kind of feel was in was a set. It was built, and everything. And then the other set that was next to it became the Wolf's Lair. So that was all on sets out in Burnaby and everything.
Which that set for the Wolf's Lair, that was repurposed from the Moche Temple in Littleton God.
Exactly. Yes, it was. Yeah, the week before it was something completely different. The week after it was something else completely different. So, but that week it belonged to Adolf. And we put in a big fire because that seemed to be good symbolism and all that kind of thing. And
The actor who did Adolf was so good.
yeah, he was a Patrick Keating. Local actor, never worked with him again. He did a play a few years back, a kind of one-man show about his things and about addiction and everything like that, which I saw, which was very brilliant and everything like that. But yeah, he just walked in out of nowhere, for an audition. And,
Wow.
Because as I probably said on other interviews and everything like that, I said, oh, where are we going to find Hitler? Everything like that. So I thought
that was a win?
I thought we'd have to get them out of.
How'd you advertise for that? Yeah, we're looking for somebody. We need somebody auditioning for Hitler.
He came in full regalia. He came in with he'd done the mustache, he'd done the hair. He was wearing not a proper Nazi jacket, but something similar.
Wow.
And he walked in and just went, "Is this guy for real?" And everything, and
That's the guy.
and he nailed it, right?
Yeah, he was fantastic.
The only regret I have is I wish we'd shot it in German. I wish we shot it in German with subtitles. I wanted to, but they said it's too much dialogue. You can't do that. And I said,
Did he know German?
no, we
No.
would have had
So
to.
that would have- yeah.
we would have
That would have
to
been a lot more work.
trained him,
Yep.
studied, had a voice coach on set and everything
That would have been a
like
lot
that,
more.
and everything. But just to hear that with subtitles. Anyway, there's sometimes you can get away with it, sometimes you can't. You have to choose your battles, when you're making a movie.
Well, isn't there like a Highlander theory that it is in the other languages? It's just that
Well, that's
we're hearing
my
it-
theory,
that's
because
your-
there's a bunch of episodes where Duncan's hanging out with Native Americans and stuff too, and they're still speaking English.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Well, that happens.
my interpretation is that's for the audience, so that they don't have to
It is
read the
totally-
subtitles, and you just kind of.
But it is in
has,
the
totally.
Yeah.
correct
We
language.
did it
just we're hearing.
once. We did it once. They did it a couple of times on Highlander, I think. We did it once when I was doing the episode called Diplomatic Immunity, which was where we had the guy, Willie, who was played by Jasper Britton, who I still keep in touch with to this day. Lovely guy. He was pretending to be a plumber to come to the building, to come to the consulate, right? And then he hits the guy on the head, who was the unit manager, a guy named Martin Gilbert, who we called Tintin, because he looked like the character Tintin, the French character, right? And he said, Tintin, you do this part and everything like that. Anyway, we got up and Jasper didn't know French, but and everyone was like, alarm bells went off. Why are you shooting in French? And I said, well, because we're in France and people speak French here and everything. And he learned it well enough. It wasn't just a couple of lines, but we got to shoot it in French and of course Tintin was French, and so they got to subtitle it. And I thought, oh, small victory. But it worked out really nicely. Yeah.
How many episodes did you direct? Andy said you did 9.
9.
Can you name them all, or is it too long ago?
Valkyrie, which was followed by Duende, which was followed by Stone of Scone, which was followed by Armageddon, which was followed by, don't correct me, wait a minute, I'll get there.
Yeah.
Diplomatic Immunity, Justice, To Be, and part of Not to Be, the ending, the very ending of the film, of the show. And I'm missing one. They're doing a game.
Yeah, the game where they're
Yeah.
like traps and stuff.
Yeah, it's all action.
That's the
It's
one that I
just all action.
mixed up with the.
So did you live here when you were doing?
Oh yeah.
So you had to travel over to Paris and hang out there for
Oh yeah. No.
6 months or however long it was?
I did 8 episodes, so I was there for 9-10 months. They took me and my family over and set us up really nicely.
That's cool.
Two of Hearts, which became the
It was like a quantum
template
from the Raven.
for the thing, which I never got paid for.
That's another season 6 episode.
Yeah, Two of Hearts with Claudia Christian and lovely. What was his
That's
name?
the one with the babe from Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah, Claudia Christian. That's right. Yeah,
He
yeah.
wrote he wrote some of our favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Was she?
did you know that? Glenn?
What's that?
Lucetta Vander, the woman that was Ingrid, she was also Sindel in Mortal Kombat 5.
Oh.
Also. So you had
I'll be
Sandra
ding dang.
Cass and Lucetta
I did not know that.
Yeah, 2 Highlander actors in Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
Did you have any previous directing experience before you got called up for Highlander?
Oh yes.
Or-
Yeah, no, but they wouldn't take nobody off the street. But maybe. Anyway, no, I started in as an editor, as a film editor, and everything, and then directed my first movie back in 1988.
88,
Which
okay.
was a kind of tongue-in-cheek horror thriller, and then did.
What's the name of it?
And then called Matinee.
Okay.
And then did another film called North of Pittsburgh. And then I was also editing at the same time. And then I did 2 really genre pictures, a martial arts action picture called
Nice.
White Tiger, which is still a pretty kick-ass movie to this day.
We'll have to watch that.
Starring Gary Daniels and everything, and Kerry Tagawa as the bad guy. He was good.
And they did scenes over at where we were at the shipyards
Oh.
in North Vancouver.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If what's left of the shipyards.
Yeah.
It used to be really fun over there, but now it's all gentrified and everything like that, right? And and then another one called Wounded, with Graham Greene and Machen Amick and everything, which was all set in the forest up there and everything like that, right? And then after that, you know, like suddenly I got a call, you know, from Ken Gord's assistant saying, you know, are you available to do it? I'd never done television.
They sought you out? You didn't have
Yeah, no, I hadn't, you know, really, you know. I think I'd met Ken before because he liked north of Pittsburgh, and so I had a little meeting with him. And then they called up and said, you know, come on down, everyone. And that's my story. I won't bore you with it much money. Where I'm only used to feature film production, and I said, oh, that's interesting, because I didn't think they really wanted me. And I said, well, why don't you send me the script, and I'll have a look and we'll talk. That's how I'm used to doing things, right? And they said, well, we don't have a script yet. Oh, okay. Well, when do you think you're going to have the script? Tomorrow. Okay, good. When does prep start? Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? You kidding? Yeah. And so I went in the first day of prep, and I got the script.
I bet that was a little bit different than what you were used to.
Very different.
Yeah.
I was scared.
Just like a mad scramble,
scared the shit
and
out of me, to tell you the truth. And especially as I probably told the story before, I opened the script and there's a list of the characters, you know, like a thing, Duncan MacLeod, okay, beneath those, okay. And then I went, Hitler.
Didn't expect that one for your first
Hitler.
and at that point you'd already said yes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did seriously look over at the door where the exit sign was and said, I've made a terrible mistake. I should get out of here right now. No harm, no foul. I haven't been paid.
Had you seen any episodes of the show previous to that, or okay?
No, I'd seen
So
a couple of clips. That was
wow,
it.
that's
I hadn't seen the movies. I hadn't seen anything. I knew it was action with a heart.
that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
one of the most memorable episodes of the series.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was just
Well,
saying.
that was the
You
thing.
did a
Then I
couple
read
of
the
most
script. I said I
favorites.
have to do due diligence here, so I read the script before I get back in my car and leave, and never work in television again. But the script turned out to be by a fellow named James Thorpe, who wrote a number of wonderful episodes. Turned out to be really great. You know, I just went, wow. You know, and when I read, you know, the line that would eventually go to Jan Triska, and you probably all know it, you know, like when I was young, there was only good and evil, black and white, you see, and then I grew up and realized there's only gray. I went, well, that's very good.
I think that's one of the reasons that we're all such big fans, is because of just stuff like that.
Well, the moral dilemmas of it.
Oh,
Yep.
exactly.
That's
exactly
what
it.
it's all about, right? That's what David Abramowitz captured so marvelously.
We watch the episodes all the time and have conversations.
Yeah.
And,
In fact, we've been having him in the van while we've been driving
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
what do you think of this one? What would you do?
Well, yeah,
What
it's
do you
just
think?
like, yeah, what would you do? You know, and that's
And there's
the
no real
same-
right answers either.
No,
It's just
no, it's all troublesome. It's all completely like, what am I going to do?
Can I ask you a question that's not Highlander related?
Sure.
How did you get into directing?
Oh.
Is it something that you always knew that you wanted to do, or did it just kind of fall on you? Or?
Yeah, basically, from a 13-year-old geeky kid with a Super 8 camera, kind of the standard kind of thing, and everything, and then you know, just made Super 8, graduated 16 millimeter, talked some people into letting me do some stuff, started editing and everything, and just.
Did you have any like films that you'd made on your own as like a resume type thing before you made it to
because,
Hollywood?
Oh no, I never really married in Hollywood, but I had a few shorts and all that kind of stuff, and that got me into editing and everything, and then edited a couple of Canadian movies and got nominated for some awards and everything like that, and eventually managed to parlay that into writing, directing first feature.
trying to find your way
Yeah.
in.
I'm just curious.
It's
I am a big fan of making movies. When I was a little kid, I always wanted to be like a Hong Kong action star or something like that. And just recently, I've come across the means to start making movies. I now have 2 movies under my belt that I've written, directed, edited, and starred in.
There you go.
The first one took me 4 years to make. The second one took me 2 years to make. But I love them. I love directing. I
fan
love
films.
making movies.
Yeah.
Second one's a Highlander fan film.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, cool. Well, you should put them up on a site.
They're on YouTube.
They're on YouTube.
Are they?
Yeah.
Please give me the.
Yeah,
It has copyright music in
yeah, I
it, so
can-
we're
I
not
can give
making
you a
any
card,
money off of them
but,
or anything.
um,
But it's a
No, I got
passion
it.
of
I got
ours.
it. I got
Yeah.
it. I got
Yeah.
it. Yeah. No. It's,
But
I actually starred in the second one, the Highlander one. I played Tessa.
yeah, I mean, I'm old now, but I feel like I kind of, yeah.
Tessa.
He wants me to play Amanda.
Yeah, show pictures. She's got the wig on and everything. I mean,
yeah.
we took screenshots and made the costumes match from the television show. And I mean,
Sweet.
I even used music from, how do you say his name? Roger
Bellon.
Bellon. Yeah. I used his music in the film along with Lorena McKennett. I mean, we tried to make it like as authentic as we possibly could. I even have like the actual Duncan sword. I did all the fight choreography. I filmed the fight choreography, like all of it. Now, the scenes that I was in where I did the fighting, she filmed them.
Sweet.
But,
He was Duncan, as you can.
Yes,
Yeah,
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 you
so you
have
even
a,
got the-
you have
yeah.
a Cyber kind of thing going on there. No,
Yeah, but,
they need a new Highlander probably eventually, just to let you know.
But yeah, I kind of feel like I miss my calling just because I love it so much.
I know,
I mean,
well, yeah.
it's really, really, I mean, I don't need to tell you this, but I mean, it's really, really hard work, but when it's done and like, it's like a work of art that you've created and you just kind of get to see the whole thing come to
Yeah.
life as you work on it some more.
It
And
wasn't
it's,
until I got into doing something like White Tiger that I got involved with, heavy duty into the martial arts scene and the martial artists, and it was Gary Daniels, and every stunt guy on the West Coast wanted to work on the show. I didn't realize, and everything, and just watching them doing things and figuring out how to shoot it. And, commenting was just like a real eye-opening kind of situation, right? And the intensity of it.
yeah.
The dedication to it, I just went, whoa, that's pretty intense.
Oh,
Well,
Tessa.
there you go. When did we start shooting?
well, yeah, I can show you the film if you like, but I mean, I'm pretty proud of it. I mean, it is a fan film. It's a zero budget film,
That's
but
great.
it's got a lot of heart.
There you go. I mean, that's what it's all about. Tell you the freaking truth.
Your dad was famous too.
Yeah. He was had in his own way. He didn't fight anything. I think he took karate at one point, but he was mostly a comedian, so that's okay.
Really?
Yeah.
This was the Indiana Jones fan film. As I mess up the picture. It was Indy. And I was just the camera person on that one.
Really? Oh, so you know how to do
I-
camera too, huh?
But yeah,
Yeah, I
I
did a
like
lot of-
gunfights and whip work, and I mean, I did all of it.
Wow, good for you. Should hang out with Anthony DeLongis if you
Yep, I've already
we
gone and
went
seen him.
down.
In fact, he
love him.
signed this jacket
All right. Oh yeah.
up at the top.
Oh sweet. Did
Yeah.
you go to Ndala? To
Yep,
his
yep.
bench?
Yeah, we did whip training for 7 hours. It was
Whoa,
really cool.
That's
Yeah.
intense.
I stayed the night there and everything. They were wonderful people.
Yeah.
And I love them so much.
Yeah, no, not only working with them on Duende, which was tons of fun, but then I went down
One of my
to,
favorites.
to Spain to work on Queen of Swords, which was a thing that also
Yep.
a lot of Highlander
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
were
we need to-
involved
I've seen a
in.
couple episodes. I'm
And
trying to get her to
everything.
start
Hard to
watching
find
it.
I tried to watch it, but
It's on
our
Tubi,
internet
actually.
was bad.
Yeah,
But now we have good internet,
I've
so.
got a PAL version of the series, so I can only play it on my, my all region kind
Mm-hmm.
of thing. But yeah, we and Anthony was down there for quite a while. And
Yeah, you directed a couple of episodes of that show too,
yeah,
didn't you?
oh yeah, and we went up, and our son was just how old was he? He was only like 7 or something like that. And here's Anthony DeLongis teaching my son at 7 how to wield it.
That sounds like him. Yeah.
You're gonna be.
Anthony was the sword master for that show, wasn't he?
Yeah, and a stunt double for a lot
Right.
of guys who.
That means you got to
really
hang out with him
didn't know.
every day.
Oh yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
I'll bet that was a blast.
Oh yeah, and Mary's so lovely and everything like that, and we went up to their house and for that, and
Yeah.
Anyway,
They're pretty amazing people.
Yeah. It's tons of fun.
Yeah.
Tons of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, one of my first questions I asked Anthony was, do you have any kids? And he's like, yeah, me.
That's great. Yeah.
And he acted like it too. I mean, he got along with Shannon just like two peas in a pod. They started like making jokes and just like having a ball like all day
Tell about
long.
when you guys were practicing.
Yeah, she distracted Anthony by showing him something on her phone or something like that. I couldn't remember what it was. And I was out there, working on the whip, and is like, come on, we need to get back to work here. He's like, excuse me, I'm trying to flirt with your wife.
That sounds like Anthony.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah. Yes,
So
well, I've
awesome.
got a few stories concerning Dwende that I
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yes.
tell you about, everything like that. We can do those later,
Yep.
or something like that if you want.
We would love those.
Yeah.
You want to go outside?
So you want to head outside and see what the thing is?
All right.
Okay.
We want to get a picture.
Or trim. Hey, how you doing?
I'm sorry, excuse
Go ahead,
me.
please.
I'm filming here.
He's kidding. He said he forgot his clothes in the back. He was part of the band.
Part of
He was
the
here
band,
the other day,
yeah.
and
Oh.
forgot his clothes in there.
They're doing things here all the time. I was just here a few months ago at some band thing. Everything. So yeah, so we had a couple of exterior scenes here. Of course, we had a dolly track here, and with Wilkinson, Fulvio coming out, we panned by this. These trees had nearly grown up as much as they have, and out to the street, where I wanted to come out and then come onto Peter, who was standing right here. So he's kind of just looking around, casual like, and everything like that. So you just be in the foreground, and I'll follow the guy out and everything like that. And then he goes down, several cars back to encounter Adrian for their final scene.
It's gonna be down
Yeah,
there.
down there a little ways.
Just down here, right? And the thing, and again, it was it was really nice writing by this James Thorpe guy, who I've actually directed probably 3 or 4 of his scripts, both not only on Highlander but on Queen of Swords. I had one of his scripts, and he was a really he had a nice way about him, and he had all that ending of it, she judged him and he judged her.
Yeah,
and everything
that's
like
another
that.
great line.
And he says, "Who judges me?" And he just says, "You want to get something to eat?" And everything, which was a great ending, And then he wiped the lens, and just we did a freeze frame. But the great thing was that night, and I guess you can look up the exact night in I'm going to go with 96 when we did it, and it was a full moon that night in September.
Oh, the Valkyrie, yeah.
Yeah, and so I said, I wanted to shoot up to the full moon. And as I've said before, like the eye of God looking down on them and all that kind of stuff, right? There it is. There it is. See, those trees weren't there. And now you could do it. That's inside now.
Oh, that's outside.
Yeah. Oh, we could do the banners outside too. Oh, that's sweet. I forgot about that. And so now digitally you could do it so much better. But all I kept thinking back then was, can't we make the moon just a little bit bigger? Now that, see, you got it, right? It's there.
Mm-hmm.
But,
that is a great shot.
Wouldn't that be great if that moon was just like, another third or so bigger and everything? Now that's just like,
Yeah, that's easy to
that's
do nowadays.
nothing.
Yeah.
You do that on your
phone probably, yeah.
and
Seriously.
everything. So that was just down the block of looking up past this, and you're just like, wow, it was like a really great ending to the episode and everything. Everyone felt really good about it. Adrian felt good about it. I felt great about it.
It's a great episode.
And everything. And next thing I said, come to Paris. And I said, okay.
And then they kept you for season 6.
And then it kept me for season 6, the infamous season 6. But yeah, so we had that was basically all one scene, basically, kind of. He just comes out, he gets in his car, drives away, we go on, they have their big ending, end of episode. Everything. It was a great ending to an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
What are your thoughts on season 6? Since you said the infamous season 6.
Well, I wasn't invested like so many people were in the thing, and after the thing of of killing off Stan and everything like that. It was just, action picture with a heart and moral dilemmas to me in a lot of ways, right?
Yes.
So I wasn't, but I realized it was a little bit more touchy for some people in terms of what was going on. And also they were doing the whole thing trying to do a spin-off,
Yeah.
and so we called them the Highlander Babe Show.
Yep. The Highlander Babe Show.
And so, fortunately, I only got one of those, which was actually really good. There's the one with Justina Vale. And that's the whole thing where she,
The one with Sonya Blade.
where she, has the child who grows up, Katya, who grows up, and everything. At first it's her child, then it's her sister, then it's her mother, all this kind of stuff, because she doesn't get older and all that kind of stuff. But she has to, avenge her death by the hands of her husband and everything. So it was actually, it was a very emotional kind of episode, everything, and so it was very different from some of the other ones, which were just, really, good solid chick flicks, And we made all these. Dennis Barry directed most of the Highlander Babe shows, as we called them, and I just got the one, but I thought the good one. That was a really good story and everything, and so I stayed kind of out of that whole thing of the whole controversy over it, and it's really hard to end a series. Look at The Sopranos; everyone hated that ending. Look at so many series.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. I
But
watched
to
the
be
last
not
one
to
in
be
Cannes, and my
really
guy,
good,
a
though.
friend and I,
Yeah.
sitting there going, "Oh, this is not going to go well."
I thought To Be and Not to Be were great for an ending.
I think it would have been harder to have a better ending than
Yeah.
that, honestly.
Yeah.
It's
It
a
was
tough.
great, and the fact that they brought Fitz back. It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Well,
it was beautiful.
It's a Wonderful Life, kind of
Yeah.
thing, and we kind of went, okay, let's do this.
They had originally wanted Michael J. Jackson and Sean Burns to play the part that Fitz carried out,
Oh,
but he
really?
wasn't available, so they
really?
brought in Roger Daltrey.
Oh,
again.
wow.
Well, I'm
Roger.
glad that they did, because I think that
Roger
really worked
was-
out.
Sean Burns would have been good,
Yeah, they
but
also considered
Roger Daltrey probably would have been
Yeah.
better.
Played Rebecca, which was Amanda's mentor on the show.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Her too.
Yeah, Sean
Wow.
Burns wouldn't
Oh.
be quite the same. It was
Yeah.
it was still worked, like you said, but
Well, you want to go around back?
Sure.
Let's head around back here.
It was a little more open. That tree has gone out of its way to grow. They were a little upset with me because I did it in the alleyway, and there were some cars going by, and of course in the Highlander universe they're not supposed to fight in public, right? But it was reasonably quiet and everything. We managed to edit it in a way that it didn't show too much action out there.
I know how that goes.
But it's like, Ken was like, geez. But the scene between Musetta and Adrian was so powerful. Kind of got rid of that whole idea. But that whole thing was just the one scene out here, and that it was the entranceway that Adrian came out of. There were stairs, but he jumped over the fence or something. She was here, right? And so she's up here. Yeah, walking in, and
oh yeah,
see, so it's
This way.
yeah.
there.
Oh,
You
yep, there's the door.
Yeah, it didn't have the dumpsters and all that kind of stuff. There we go, let this guy go through.
Yeah, the stairs he came out over right here. Right?
Yeah. And they had their whole bit in here, which was I just covered it with handheld cameras. I just thought, it's this very intimate kind of thing, but I just wanted it to be, here and moving with people, and not kind of rough and everything like that as they're confronting each other and everything, and back and forth like this until the moment of truth, And that's where the moral dilemma really comes out. And, Adrian was like there, and he's in tears, and she's freaking in tears. Everyone's in tears. I'm in tears. The crew's in tears. And everything like that. Everyone's just like going, like it was a very emotional scene. And then the big thing happens, and then of course we did the quickening and everything, where we only had 2 cameras to do it with. And of course, my now famous story is when I tried to burn down the building, because you see, they had a box, one of those transformer type of boxes rigged up over here, and rigged up to and sparks and all that kind of shit going on here, and the thing was filled, and then but no one was expecting it quite to catch on fire. It was supposed to just spark a lot, but it started to catch on fire and everything. Adrian's right here. The camera's over here. Adrian's right here with this background, and he's down on the ground and everything like that, and doing his whole thing and everything. And meanwhile, in the background, there's a fire starting to creep up the building.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was a little, and I don't notice because I'm watching Adrian, right? And everyone else is watching this, and then suddenly there's this guy who's the special effects coordinator who came out.
Excuse us.
And said he's standing beside me with a fire extinguisher, and he's standing there saying, "Oh man, you gotta go cut. Come on," and everything. Darren, wonderful guy, and everything. Worked with him a few times, and I didn't notice that was happening. And then all of a sudden I'm going, "Oh yeah, cut," and then he just goes running in, and shh, because no one's supposed to say cut, except me. Anyone else says cut, they get fired. That's all there is to it. Or anything like that, right? So he came up, and he went in and he blew the thing, but it already scorched up that side, almost hit the roof and everything. It looked great on camera.
I'll bet.
But it kind of like started to scorch the whole place and everything, and that's why then that's an insurance claim that they didn't want to do, and so they sent the art department by with the painters, and they repainted the whole outside, the whole exterior. And the Wise Hall was happy with that. They checked it for any structural damage, it was fine. And they painted the whole thing. And for 17 years, it stayed that color of darker green. This is new, this is newer. And so I used to always drive by here, and when I was with people, I'd say, I painted that building. And they say, what do you mean? Well, no, I didn't actually paint it, but I caused it to be painted. I told a little bit about the story and everything, and it stayed that way for 17 years until they painted this some years, but I guess you do the math, I can't remember when it was. And now I joke that, they painted it, which I thought was a much nicer color, and I think, I need to come back, it needs a touch-up. I need to come back and try to burn the place down again, so that we can, it could get a little bit of dust up. So, but that was the whole thing. Adrian right here, we sat on the ground, and then there was the controversial part, which always I get into an argument if you've seen any of the Zoom things with Clay Boris. He's such a little shit. I love him. And,
You had met him before the
I had never met him
did you?
before that time in 2017 down in Los Angeles. And I was saying, and I didn't know a lot about the little bits and pieces of the Highlander thing, right? I was doing things like, shooting stuff in the buzzes. I was shooting them at 6 frames a second and then printing them back to 24 frames a second, and so it had all this kind of weird movement and everything, which I actually learned from a Hong Kong filmmaker. Anyway, and I remember looking up at Adrian going, "What do you do with the body?" do you just leave it there, or do you like put it in a dumpster? Does it evaporate? What goes on? He says, I don't know. And then he said, well, maybe, but she was a friend of yours. You know? And I said, you know, she's a dear friend. Everything like that. And so then he thought about it, and then he decided on his own that he'd get down and pick her up. And we covered her head, of course, so you couldn't see that she, and carry her off down the alley. And Clay Boris always says, "Why did you do that? What's wrong with you? You just forget about that." I said, "I didn't know."
It looked great, though.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
it added emotion to
It
it.
was
add
a very
emotion to
emotional kind of thing, you know, that this was different. This wasn't some, you know, jackal who, you know, he
Yeah.
was just like thump and everything like
Somebody he
that,
really cared
and
for.
everything like that. This was like something, and so the image of him walking off down the thing, you know, I said, "What do you do?" And he said, "Why don't I do this?" I said, "Do it. Let's shoot it." And it turned out that they liked it in the movie. So that worked out just fine. But that's probably the only time, I think. I don't know. I haven't seen the rest of the series, a lot of them. I don't know if that was ever handled like that again. I think it's possibly
I
the only
don't think so.
only time that something, you know. And then of course the editor and post people then put in the line again of Young Triska when I was
Oh, yeah.
and it played over that, and it's just like, okay, I'm sold.
It was great.
It worked out well. But yeah, all here in Little East Van.
Yeah, the area looks a lot bigger when you're watching the episode.
Yeah,
Everything was.
yeah. Well, when you start putting, you know, 10mm lenses on things, it tends to do it. But we tried to shoot it, you know, pretty close on things, you know, except for the big thing at the end, you know, with the pyrotechnics and all that kind of thing. You know, but yeah, but I wanted to keep it moving, and I wanted to keep it live. So, you know, just that's why the handheld kind of feel to it, you know, just to make it tense.
What was
Yeah.
the hardest scene for you to film in that whole episode?
Here? Probably this one. This one was, you know, because it was so, you know, emotional and everything. It was, you know, the other stuff, yeah, it all has its various difficulties that you only have 20 extras and you're trying to make them look like 200. You know, all that kind of usual stuff, or telling Falvio to go write some shit, you know, and everything like that, you know, and everything. But this was kind of like a really pivotal, emotional thing for the episode, even though I didn't really know a lot. I was putting on a lot of what I thought the show should be like, you know. I don't know if I was supposed to be doing that, but I did it anyway because, you know, I figure if they don't like it, you know, I'll never do another one. So, but it worked out.
How do you film in the dark? Do you have to have like spotlights?
Oh, yeah, we had there was a crane over there with a big light, and over here with a big light, just off, you know, doing the backlighting kind of thing, some fill from here and everything. But yeah, we had two big lifts up.
So it's a matter of where you put the angle with the light to still
Well, yeah,
make it
I
look
had to
dark,
say-
and you just kind of highlight the actor and leave everything else.
Well, on the tech survey, before we actually start shooting, I'm here with the lighting people and the art department, and I'm saying, okay, I'm going to do that, and he's going to do this. I'm going to be shooting this way, I'm going to be shooting that way. You have to do something there, you know. So they have it in their head, what, you know, and so then they start pulling in trucks, putting big 18Ks up on a lift and everything.
Remember,
like
that's
that.
like when we went to the Gateway Theater the other day, and Paul was talking about how professional they were, and they had like all mapped out where they wanted to set this equipment on that equipment and
Yeah.
everything, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
it's
because
down to the T, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you better, you know, have it.
Because like I said, they only had
mapped out.
2 days here, right? And
Yeah,
then they go
yeah.
on to the next thing.
You have to have it mapped out.
Yeah, I've got a really hard time shooting in the dark because I don't have the resources.
Don't have
So
big 18Ks
it's
on
all
that.
like either grainy, way grainier than I'd like it to be, or I have to put like a filter on it in post to try and make it look dark,
That's true.
and
Yeah.
it just never quite looks the way that I want it to. So I just thought that I would ask that question. And
Technique will get better.
yeah, I learned a lot from that first film, especially like what my limitations were.
Well, and I'm sure
And the second one ended
having
up being a
mentor
lot
and
better.
Consulting
Yeah,
other
that's why I'm
experts.
kind of picking his brain here,
It's a
because
learning
I've never
curve.
gotten a chance to speak to another director before. So
Well, you know, Yeah, well, also when you have a team of professionals of that, you can say,
It's not just that though. It's like when I watch somebody else's work, I'm like, oh, I like the lighting on that one, or I like the camera angle, or I like what they did here, and because camera angles are really important for like telling a story and stuff, and I've learned that quite a bit as well. So when I'm watching episodes now and stuff like that, I really like that shot that you just brought up of Duncan, where with the moon behind him and everything. That's a fantastic camera angle. It's like that's the kind of stuff that I want to try and imitate.
Yeah. Well, that was. By the time we did that, I was learning a bit more, and that seemed like pure Highlander to me.
Yeah, it was.
That kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. So it just happened to be got a full moon that night. September 1996. I think it was September.
Yeah, I think so. Somewhere in there, probably.
Yeah.
Because it was one of the last episodes that we shot here. I think Comes the Horseman was next.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like late September or something.
Yeah.
Mid-September, and then early October of '96 is when they stopped.
And then it all shifted to Paris.
Yeah.
Which was strange for Ken because he said, mostly they'd shoot in Paris in the winter. And so it's like he said, I've never been in Paris and seen a sunny day. But we had summer in Paris that year, '97. Yeah.
They were freezing in the barge most of the time, and then burning up in the barge in the summertime. Yeah.
What a hellish little place that was.
Tell us about that with dinner. We got to have some kind of conversation.
Sure.
Did you shoot much at the barge?
Every episode had usually a day built around the barge because it was the closest thing we had to a standing
I heard
set.
that was hell.
I had fun, but it wasn't the most easy, but it's a beautiful location.
Yeah, I went there just a couple months ago.
Just there's
Well,
Notre
you didn't
Dame.
go into the barge.
No, but we went to where it was.
No, they drag it around. Just
Yeah, it
once
was
in a-
different places.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adrian took us to the two major spots that it
Oh, yeah?
normally sits. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we got a picture of him like right in front of Notre
Right.
Dame where the barge normally sits.
He's in Notre Dame, and then they did it further down the Seine near the Bibliothèque Nationale and everything, which I shot there once too.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome seeing that.
Yeah.
I went there in 2019.
Yeah.
Saw some of those places.
Yeah.
I need to go back and actually lead a tour there too.
Well, let me know when you're doing it. I'd love to
Oh,
plan
really?
a vacation
Oh,
around
hey.
it.
That'd be cool. That'd be excellent.
I wouldn't say no to that.
City University, I'd like to visit that again.
The Richard Martin Film Studio.
The Richard Martin Film Studios, they call it, because I would always shoot something at City University, because it was one-stop shopping.
I actually got to go in the I don't know, not a dorm, but it was the house that you guys use in Duende.
Oh,
for
yeah?
the fencing salon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a great room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get to go in there. We got to see the outside of it.
Oh, yeah.
And that was it. They would not let us in the front gate. So I was like, there it is.
I know. Yeah, we had to set up the things on the floor and everything, and it was beautiful space, beautiful floor, everything. Yeah.
I can't remember if our reservations are at 6:30 or at 7. I need to look on that paperwork in the car. Unless somebody happens to have their deal with them.
Yeah, we left him in the van.
Okay.
Left it in the bag, sorry.
So the guy who played Hitler looked like he had a really great time playing Hitler.
Yeah.
He did. I mean, how can you not have a bad time?
He's like bringing that hand up when he's coming out of the burning
The
building.
hand of God himself.
I know.
He's like rolling the tongue and everything.
I know.
It was great.
Because originally that was just one line, right? When he came out. And again, we shot it with a handheld, so it's I said it has to be down here, and everything like that. So he has harder on the camera. He's moving like this and everything. And I said that I wanted the tension to be there, where she's got the gun and she's shaking and everything like that, and he's doing it. So I said, keep repeating the line.
Oh, yeah.
Just say it again
that
and
really
again
gave
and again, right?
the feeling
So
of
he
it.
comes out and it just got crazier and crazier and built the tension until bang, she
Yep,
was shot.
they were both fantastic in that scene.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Those are kind of moments you get when you just say, yeah, do that, and it will make it better.
Every time he said it, it got better.
I know. I know. It's
We still have about 90 minutes until the
wow.
reservations kick in. So yeah.
90 minutes?
Till
Where is it?
7:30.
We have
it's
no
only-
more
Oh,
locations.
7:30.
Yeah, so we have a little ways. You guys want to go to another filming location?
Yeah, sure.
Heck yeah.
You didn't have anything to do with it, but
That's okay.
You can still tell other stories though.
we can all pile in. And,
Okay.
yeah, this is Jill's sister's house.
Yep.
So the guy is
Yeah.
he's an immortal, and he ends up telling the woman that he wants to marry about his immortality, and she freaks and doesn't want to have anything to do with him anymore. And so he just won't leave her alone.
Oh, no.
And so she finally tries to go.
So this is the house from the beginning of Obsession. David walks up these steps with the flowers, knocks on the door asking for Jill. Sister says she isn't there. He walks around on the porch. Jill comes out over here in her car.
They shot that out of the board.
Okay, right.
David tries to stop her because he wants to talk, and she runs him down, and I believe he falls somewhere right about where Paul is standing.
Paul, pretend you're being hit by a car.
What's my motivation?
The motivation's I'll hit you with a car.
And Mr. Martin is actually following us for this part of the tour. Don't know how long he's going to be with us, but probably not too long. We're supposed to have dinner with him tonight, and then we're going to take him home. But what a treat.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this part of the house isn't really shown in that episode. It's mostly the front porch.
One of the residents, we actually had two residents on either side of the road, and one was going to let us go, and the other was going to say, no, I can't really give you permission to go out there.
Anyway,
and
on to the next
woman
spot.
on the phone said, yeah.
Or we just bust the lock and go in.
Okay, so this is the church where David wants Duncan to meet him at. Shan and I were here on our last trip.
Well, you can access it around the block.
Yeah,
That's your
they largely
buddy,
come
that's
from the front, though.
her pet buddy, right, Ashley?
Oh, who's that Pokemon?
But yeah, the spot that we're looking for. Oh, there's the statue right there that you can see in the shot where Duncan comes up to meet David. I believe he's coming from this direction somewhere when that happens. But yeah, like I said, Shan and I were here before, so I don't need to get a whole lot of footage. But this is the church. I mean, it's gorgeous looking. Honey, what are you doing? Yes, the St. Francis of Assisi Roman Catholic Church. That's the name of this place. But yeah, most of the footage was from the back, which is where I just showed you.
Yeah. So, and here's the front of the church.
Is this from the same episode?
Yes,
Okay.
this is from Obsession in
Okay.
season 3 also.
I don't remember there being any shots from the front. Is this just an establishing shot? Okay.
Yeah, they didn't shoot too much out here in the front. They showed David like in the phone booth or something, you know, when he was
Okay.
calling Duncan and stuff.
That's really good.
And they showed him after he's been hit by the car, he like walks up and calls Duncan on the phone.
The phone booth isn't here?
No, not this time.
There's a mannequin.
Yeah, the shot out back, if we could see that, that would be cool. We won't have to walk back over to the car. Well, they never went in the church for the episode, actually.
Yeah, it's all in the back there.
But would that not lead around to the back?
Well, I don't think we can
Sweetheart.
actually get through.
Oh, you're worried about that now?
Video of the
Yeah.
upper window.
What's in the upper window? Am I missing something? Oh, well, that's a little creepy.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Creepy looking evil nun up there or something. Nice. Are we talking about going in?
Nah,
Okay.
we're talking about whether or not we want to try to get around that way. I don't think we need to.
Oh, no, I mean, all the stuff is over there.
I mean, there is the shot of Duncan in the back with his T-bird as Jill is walking to get to him.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but the backyard
There's
there.
that statue I was telling my viewers about a minute ago.
Yeah, it'd be better probably just to worry about this one.
Yeah, agreed.
Let her have her moment with the kitty cat.
Sheesh. Okay.
You heard him saying that